Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Mike. Today on the show we shall be looking at whether or not it is legal for the Senate to suspend Senator Natasha Akpoti for a period of 6 months. Join us for this interesting conversation. The Senate has suspended Kogi Central Senator, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, for a period of 6 months, following the recommendation of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions. The Senate accused Natasha Akpoti of gross misconduct, specifically violating the Senate rules on sitting arrangement and bringing the Senate leadership and the entire Senate into public ridicule. The Senate also stripped Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan of her security allowances, and she's not to be seen close to the Senate for the period of the suspension. Now, the question is this: does the Senate have the legal powers to suspend Senator Natasha Akpoti for 6 months? We are going to be analyzing this from 3 perspectives. We are going to be looking at the Senate standing rules, judicial precedent, and what the Constitution says about declaring the seat of a lawmaker vacant. Rule 67 order 4 of the Senate states that a lawmaker can only be suspended for a period not more than 14 days. So it means that even if Natasha Akpoti was to be suspended, the suspension should not be more than 14 days. So the question remains, why was she suspended for a period of 6 months? Also, previous court judgments have declared as illegal the suspension of a lawmaker duly elected to represent his or her constituency. In 2017, Senator Ndume was suspended for a period of 6 months after he accused then Senate President Bukola Saraki of falsifying custom papers and importing bulletproof cars for himself. Displeased by the ruling, Senator Ndume challenged the decision of the Senate in court, and the court ruled that the Senate has no such powers to suspend a lawmaker for 6 months. In the landmark judgment, the court stated categorically that it is only through a legal process or through a process of recall that a lawmaker can be suspended from the Senate. In 2018, Senator Omo-Agege was suspended for 90 legislative days after he alleged that the amendment of Section 25 of the Electoral Act was meant to target the re-election of then President Muhammadu Buhari. Omo-Agege challenged the decision of the Senate, and in the landmark ruling, the court ruled that the Senate cannot suspend a member for more than 14 days. The court also ruled that the Senate should pay all outstanding salaries and entitlement to distinguished Senator Omo-Agege. In 2016, Jibrin was suspended for 180 legislative days after he accused then Speaker Yakubu Dogara of padding the budget. He appealed the suspension and the court ruled in his favor. Previous court judgment in Bauchi, Jigawa, Kogi and Edo states ruled that the legislature has no powers of suspending any of its members. Also, Section 68 and 69 of the Nigerian Constitution provided the conditions upon which the seat of a lawmaker may be declared vacant. And these conditions include: number 1, resignation; number 2, defection to another political party; number 3, conviction; and number 4, recall by members of the constituents. The Constitution never mentioned suspension as a criteria upon which the seat of a lawmaker can be declared vacant. So what is the legality behind the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti for a period of 6 months? Because it is clear that from the Senate rules, judicial precedent, and what the Constitution states, she ought not to have been suspended for a period of 6 months. Now here's my take. I join well-meaning Nigerians, including Femi Falana-San, to call and urge the Senate to, without delay, reverse the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti, or better still, reduce the suspension to a period of 14 days, so that the people of Kogi Central will not be denied of adequate representation. Also, Senate President Godswill Akpabio should without delay recuse himself and step aside to allow for an unbiased investigation into the sexual harassment allegation brought before him by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. This case is already bringing the Senate into disrepute. Senator Natasha Akpoti had already filed a complaint at the United Nations Inter-Parliamentary Union, urging them to intervene and prevent alleged persecution by the Nigerian Senate. Watch this.
Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, 5 days ago, on the 6th of March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us will submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended. I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many other stringent conditions, such as taking away my security, taking away all the officials, vehicles, and other items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries will be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here illegally. But I had no other place to go but to come here and speak to you women, because this is a bigger picture.
Now let me hear from you. Do you think the Senate acted in error by suspending Natasha Akpoti for 6 months? Should Akpabio recuse himself to allow for an unbiased investigation into the sexual harassment allegation leveled against him? Please drop your views in the comment section below. And that's the size of our today's package. If you found this episode interesting, please like, share, subscribe for more interesting updates. Until next time, thanks for watching.